The old firm battle lines are being drawn again. But let's just hope they're not the dodgy ones we see from the VAR team at Clydesdale House, Gavin. Listen, all joking. Welcome to Game On, folks. Your weekly rapid fire hot take podcast brought to you from Record Sport, where we always overstep the line. I'm Michael Gannon, joined by Gavin Berry. It's been another huge week and an even bigger one to come. How are you, Gav?
Very good, thanks.
Yes, and I've got my VPN in. You've got to just blinking with Morse code. Yes, of course. Before we get started, I don't need prompted. A big shout out to our sponsors because Gav is threatening me here on the fly here. You're drawing me daggers.
Hey, I'm on commission.
Oh my God! I thought you're like a hostage. You're blinking out there. Yeah, don't forget the sponsors. I would never forget the sponsors. The tremendous NordVPN, the absolute best when it comes to protecting your private data, like bank details, passwords, and online identity. Have a bit of faith, Gav. I was getting there. I was getting there.
Listen, I'm getting weed in for this, Michael.
Well, clearly. So you're blinking like a hostage there, trying to get the message across. We're getting there. As I said, big week and big week to come, but let's get stuck right in. There's a lot to talk about, isn't there, Gavin? Listen, I mentioned the battle lines. Let's start with Pittodrie.
Yeah.
What a stushy from Celtic's not last gasp, but late-ish winner against Aberdeen. Benjamin Negrin, an optical illusion, or was it a dodgy VAR call? Was the goal onside or offside? How do you see it?
Well, I have to say that on first viewing, I thought it was offside.
It looked a mile off, didn't it?
It did. It looked off, but I don't want not to trust VAR. I think we have to trust it because if we don't, I think the game's a bogey.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? We have to trust the technology, but is the technology reliable?
Well, I mean, first of all, we have to see Peter was leaving right away after the game, didn't he? He highlighted the fact that two lines weren't shown, but when let me finish. No,
oh yeah.
What are you gonna say? When only one line is noticeable, it's because they've overlapped and the advantage is applied to the attacking team. Yeah.
Right.
And it's given his onside in this case.
So what do you mean the overlap?
Well, the lines of...
It's so narrow?
Yeah, it's so narrow. They overlap, yeah.
So you can't see the...
Yeah. So, so the only problem is... So right, we have to go with that. I just thought... But the only problem is if when you were looking at it, the other issues, it's a poor angle, and I don't think the point of the actual contact is conclusive.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Yeah, but the lines are so narrow that they overlap, yeah.
I mean, we don't have the kind of automated offside decisions that they have down in England. And I seen a guy who was offside with his nose during the week. It's actually his big beak had got him offside. We're getting a bit ridiculous, aren't we, these decisions, aren't we?
But the problem is the whole thing. You're right. It's all these images that are getting shown, and if it's not conclusive, the actual point of contact to the ball, and it just gives off this impression of guesswork, doesn't it? It gives off the impression that they're guessing.
I think the problem we've got in Scotland as well is it's not so much. Well, we've got a kind of a cheapy version of VAR, haven't we? We've not got the big all singing, all dancing version we've got in other countries, and we've also got the aspect that it's worked by humans, and humans will make mistakes. But like you say, I think you have to go right. Listen, they've got their wee machines out, and it's tight, but it's just about onside, I think. But listen, what we talk about
you don't sound convinced, but anyway.
Listen, you look at certain angles, you think, how can that possibly be? But then it's an optical illusion sometimes, isn't it, with the camera view? So yeah, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Okay. In terms of the performance with Celtic and the result, I mean, obviously you had some late changes to the team with Dane Murray out and Benjamin Arthur coming in. Yeah. I thought he did pretty well.
Great, barely broke sweat.
Yeah, but do you think he stays in the team for the big return match at Ibrox on Sunday in the Scottish Cup?
I think you're right. I think he was outstanding, especially to be thrown in like that, still a rookie. Let's say barely broke sweat. But I just think Austin Trusty will come back in for this one. I think there's another thing you have to consider here as well, Michael. Imagine you go with Benjamin Arthur and he gets injured, Martin O'Neill then. Bear in mind, Austin Trusty's still got 1 game suspension. So could you imagine he throws Benjamin Arthur in, he gets injured, what are you left with? Do you think a manager would think like that? Well, I suppose you have to, no?
I think, to be honest, it's a cup tie, it's all or nothing. It's the best team. You need to pick the best team. I don't think you can even think about what's happening.
The league's more important.
Come on. No, but listen, I mean, if Hearts or Rangers go into in the league and the Scottish Cup, Celtic are in the Scottish Cup, win the Scottish Cup, but it might be something out the season for Martin Ewan for Celtic.
Yeah.
I actually think I'm going to throw a curveball at you.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be Austin Thursday against Rangers. I think it should be Dave Murray.
Yeah.
I think the way Rangers play, I think Dave Murray would be a better option. If you look at last week's game, listen, people get slaughtered for saying this, but Rangers are a very direct, kind of on borderline Route 1 team.
Yeah.
I mean, they're long ball merchants.
Yeah.
Second half against Rangers last week, Dave Murray won, I think, 19 out of 20 aerial battles.
After the mistake, yeah.
After he had the ricket when he took a fresh air's fight. But in terms of the aerial battle, he won pretty much everything in that second half. And to be honest with you, it wasn't winning the ball in the first half of the problem either. It was winning the second ball was the problem for Celtic. Because Rangers flooded the midfield to get to the second balls. Whether or not it was won by anyone else. But if Rangers are going to go along again, I think Dave Murray could be the option. Because he won everything in there last week. Albeit he had a wee moment of madness. But so don't get me wrong, I think Austin Trust is decent in there as well.
Yeah.
He's had a few kind of ropey games against Rangers in recent months. I just think, I know it sounds a bit of a controversial take, I think Dave Murray could be the man for the job. It depends on how Rangers approach it, which I think we'll get to.
But to go back to your original question, I think throwing in a young experienced player in the Ibrox, could be a big ask. It's still different. I know it was testing coming out last minute against Aberdeen away, but this is a different kind of occasion. To me, it's Trusty and Scales.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he will go with Trusty.
Yeah.
I think he will go.
But you would go, Murray.
I would go with him, right? Yeah.
Yeah. The fascinating thing about this game, Michael, is, I mean, last week was incredible. The contrast between the first and second half, absolutely incredible. And the way that Celtic obviously ended the game on a high, still only got a draw, but the way they ended the game, there's going to be doubts in the Rangers players' heads. I mean, who has the psychological advantage getting?
I think you're right. I think that the kind of recency bias of the second half performance probably gives Celtic a bit more of a psychological edge, I think. And I also think the way the game unfolded, well, it might have put a few doubts in Rangers' minds as well, because Rangers in the first half, for all I thought they were so dominant, so powerful, out muscled and out kind of fought Celtic. It didn't actually create an awful lot of chances. I mean, Sinisala was in goal and didn't really have a save to make. And the goal came from an absolute worldie from Chermiti and a bit of a mistake from the defence. There wasn't that much clear cut. It was a Fernandez header maybe from a set piece. Wasn't an awful lot of clear cut chances, kid, for all the possession and all the kind of domination in terms of physically. Didn't create an awful lot. And also playing that way, getting the ball up early and flooding the midfield to get the scraps. It worked a treat. But if you look at the Rangers after about 50 minutes, completely knackered.
Yeah.
Gassed. Rascan could barely run the last half an hour. Chermiti looked exhausted. Middle of the park, completely lost its gas.
Yeah.
So if you're Rangers not dressing, think, well, we can't do that again unless we go and get a 3-goal lead. But they didn't create that enough chances to get that.
Yeah.
So I think it might force a kind of change of plan at Rangers, and maybe a bit of doubt in that game plan working. The flip side of the Celtic, how did they approach it? Did they expect that again, or would you think Rangers will be more? I think Rangers will be more cagey this time. I think Rohl is naturally quite a defensive manager. You seen it last week when they're 2 up. When they lose the goal, he kind of retreated back to try and hold on to it and invited pressure, and it's like they're running out of steam, so they created space. I think Celtic will have got a wee bit of a psychological boost, because I thought, even if it's 1 or 2-0 down, we can get at this team later on, because they can't play that way for 90 minutes. So I would say Celtic, but only just.
Yeah, I agree with you. The only thing that's changed my mind ever so slightly is that I thought Celtic, so many times this season, you look at a game and think that's the turning point. I thought they would have gone to Aberdeen and blown them away on the back of that, and then gone to Ibrox with more confidence. I think they weren't that.
That's their third game in 6 days.
Well, I get
it's a howling night in Aberdeen on a terrible pitch.
I understand it.
So,
but they score early, and you're thinking that's it. Finally, you're thinking they're going to go score 2 or 3. No, they didn't. They struggled. I take all that into consideration, but I just think I don't think it means they're suddenly going to be going to saying, "Oh, brilliant! You know, we
No.
ended second half and high. We went up, we hammered Aberdeen.
Yeah,
We're back."
No, I get that.
You know,
yeah. Well, they're nothing up front, Celtic still, and that's still the case. They need to hope that they can find goals from somewhere up that front.
He spoke about Danny Rohl searching, you know, what game plans he's going to come up with. Is he under pressure now to deliver a trophy for Rangers this season?
He's a Rangers manager, so yes, he is under pressure to deliver a trophy.
I suppose when we've got that question there, what we're really meaning is, if he ends the season without a trophy, is he in danger of getting the sack?
Is he under pressure?
Is he in danger of getting the sack? That's the question. It's a question we have sort of debated it on here a few times, haven't we? I think the comparison I make is Philip Clement getting Rangers back into a title race they thought they were out of before he was appointed. He gets them back into it. The pressure then, he becomes a victim of his own success because the pressure then is there, the expectation is to then go and win the league, you know, and it's no good. I'm just saying, we're only in it because of me. And Danny Rohl is very similar. He could say, well, we wouldn't be in it. Rangers would not be in a title race if it wasn't for me. But that doesn't count. You don't get away with that.
I would say yes, but this season is such a kind of anomaly. I mean, you look at the kind of the points totals involved in the league this year. Rangers, even in a pretty average season, would be probably above this level of points. I mean, Celtic are 17 points off they were at this stage last season. 17 points difference. I mean, it's huge. Rangers are down on where they were last year at this stage as well. And this is a point when Clement was under a bit of pressure, if you remember. So they're in the mix because, let's be honest, because Celtic have been so poor.
Oh, definitely.
So to come out of this season, if they get put out of the Scottish Cup by Celtic this weekend and don't win the league, I think there's questions to be asked because you're not going to get Celtic this poor. Hearts have taken advantage, and listen, Hearts have been terrific to get into that position, but they haven't had to do. I mean, people are talking about winning the league by 80 points. Hearts finished with 74 points. Aberdeen finished with 74 points a few years ago. So it's a 6-point difference to win a league. This is the dip that's come in to the regression from the both sides. Is it?
How sad is that?
Well, that's the regression from Celtic and Rangers. So if Rangers out this season with nothing, they're never going to have a better chance to win silverware. Never going to. I mean, realistically, should be working with a double this season, which might still be the case. So I don't think he'll lose his job if he doesn't. But you can say you're not going to get mad. I know you get. I mean, Russell had 7 games at the start of the season. So you've a 31-game season. It's not so. And so I think he will win the Precious Dollar Trophy. And if they don't, Rangers fans will be extremely disappointed. But listen, we talked about title race. It's the Scottish Cup this weekend. What about Motherwell? We need to talk about Motherwell again. I know
everybody's talking about Motherwell.
People say they're sticking under the radar by talking about them all the time. But can they get in the title race? Are they in this race?
You feel a bit of killjoy, you know, when you see it because
it's more points than anyone else.
But everybody's saying, you know, Motherwell are in it. You need to take them seriously. But are they sneaking into a title race? Well, of course. You know, realistically, are they going to win it? No. I think they'll probably end up finishing 4th.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
I can see them sticking it 3rd. I mean, the problem they've got is 10 points behind Hearts. But when they give a hand this weekend, they go 7 points behind.
So you think,
and they go into and they're right up. They're within a point of Rangers, so they're 7 points behind with 9 games to go. How is that not in the title race?
But they would need to go. I mean,
you don't listen to that because they're Motherwell, but Motherwell.
Well, exactly. Yeah, listen, and to get to the point they have got has been absolutely brilliant. It's staggering, but they're going to have to go on a similar run again. You know, from here on in.
Well, and 3 goals in about 3 months.
I know. Listen, it's great, but to continue that again for another, 9 games or whatever it is, and for all 3 teams above them,
to lose 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, it's realistic. It's never going to happen.
Well, Motherwell could be 7 points behind, and Rangers will be 6 points behind this weekend. So Rangers are in the title race. Of course they are.
Yeah, well, they are.
So you have to say by extension Motherwell as well.
I'm not saying they're not in it.
So Motherwell got to play these teams as well. They play Hearts and they play Celtic next few weeks.
Yeah, are they in it? Are they in the title race in terms of the points and in terms of the table? If they beat Dundee this weekend, then you have to say they're in the title race. Will they win the league? Do I think they've got a chance of winning the league? No.
I think they need to win. They need to win at Parkhead, and they need to win. Is it Tynecastle as well?
Yes.
Yeah. So these are big games. If they can win these 2 games,
You might.
then I think you say then. But you know what? They actually deserve to be title contenders at that point. They beat Hearts at Tynecastle and Celtic at Parkhead. A big ask. It's a big ask. I mean, they're shooting way above expectation.
Yeah.
Outperforming extremely well.
Yeah.
So we'll find out. But at the moment, see this weekend, if they win this weekend, I think we can say, welcome to the race, Motherwell.
But just to go back to that, you said you think they could finish third. So are you thinking that one of Celtic or Rangers realistically could be fourth?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Which one?
At this point in time, take your pick.
Yeah. You think?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think that's pick. I don't think it's done and dusted yet. I think this is going to be I don't think it's going to be a sprint to the line. It could be a stumble to the line.
Well, anyway, you were at Ibrox last Sunday.
I was,
You were
yes.
working there, so you witnessed that live. So name me that opening goal from Youssef Chermiti. Incredible. Kerry got forgotten.
Because it's out, yeah.
All the drama, the kind of the climax. But name me a better goal in an Old Firm derby than Chermiti's now. I think, why don't we say, name me a better one that you have seen live? Maybe
That I've seen live.
well, maybe. Well, what I was going to say was everyone talks about the Davy.
No, but what about our life in our lifetime? Yeah.
Everyone talks about the Davy Cooper Dryborough Cup final.
Yeah.
You know, I watched grainy footage of it.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh.
it's probably
What year would that have been?
79.
79. Sure.
Cup final.
I wasn't even born.
Well, I was only one.
Well, there we go. I was.
So that could well be the best. But it's easy for us.
So we have to say in our
It's easy.
lifetime.
So okay, in our lifetime, okay.
I mean, listen.
I've actually got 2. I can't separate them.
I think there's been some incredible goals in this fixture. I mean, I can reel off a handful here. I mean, you got to go back to Henrik Larsson's chip in the 6-2 game for context and finish. I mean, the audacity to do that in that environment is up there.
And I'm going to say one of his Swedish teammates.
Jonas Tern.
Yes.
I mean, what a hit that was. What a hit that was. I think you can chuck in Sean Maloney against Rangers. You get Nakamura.
Yes.
Pedro Mendes long range effort.
Bert Conterman's
Thunderbolt. And this is a Melser.
Yeah. Ray Wilkins.
Volley. Paul McStay went in summer, didn't he, as well? Like a summer, what did he not? Back in the 80s. I mean, when we're going back a few years.
Okay.
I think in terms of an actual finish, I mean, I think Terry Butcher's own goal at Parkhead. With the diving header.
I remember it, yeah.
I mean, what a header that was. There has been a few. I mean,
Andreas Tom. Remember that one?
that's a good one. Yeah.
Paul Lambert in the New Year's.
Paul Lambert. John Collins free kick with the Predators.
Of course, I forget it.
Famous one as well.
Yeah.
Barry Ferguson free kick in the Scottish Cup final.
Yeah.
I think there's plenty in there.
Take your pick. We've covered them all.
So there's your top 20. So get your comments below to add into the top 25 Old Firm goals. But listen, they played 6 times this season, so there's always some crackers.
I don't think we've missed any there. We've covered pretty much.
No, we've got a few in there. But it was, listen, talking about Smithy's goal, it was one of those like WTF moments.
Yeah.
It was like, what is that? I mean, it was just the height he got,
It was the
technique,
and
power.
And the power he generated in it,
Just
to generate that power as well, it was.
I actually think his second goal is a sneaky screamer as well.
Yeah.
It was almost a wee kind of bear camp kind of flick inside. It was. I thought that was a cracking goal as well. But got lost in the wash because the first one was so spectacular. But he's claimed his place in kind of Old Firm history with that one.
Yeah. We spoke earlier about the title race, Michael. Hearts are still the leaders.
Yeah.
We're talking about Celtic and Rangers here. We're talking about Motherwell. Hearts are still the leaders. Now, our very own. So I'm going to ask you, could Derek McInnes' antics really be a hindrance to Hearts in their historic title bid? Now, this question, of course, comes on the back of our very own Record Sports Chris Sutton, saying that he felt Derek McInnes was getting a wee bit too excitable and pumped up. He obviously had a spat with Dennis Geiger after the win over Aberdeen last week, and there's some saying, that could, players might look at it when it's
Hibs fans, did he go to Hibs fans, didn't he?
So he did, actually.
Yeah, there's a bit of nibble with them as well.
So, I mean, could that? I mean, do you think that could have a negative effect on players?
Absolutely not. The complete opposite, I think.
So, Chris,
listen, all the time. The big man's a wind-up merchant. He's one of the best wind-up merchants in the game. A world-class wind-up merchant.
So it's just a bit of fun he's having.
I take his point. I think
Yeah.
the managers usually, when you want to have a kind of a steady eddy and keeping the kind of cool, not getting too high of the big ones and not getting too low of the bad ones, and keeping steady. But I mean, the way Hearts play, I think I think what McInnes is terrific at motivating his team and getting them organised and getting them running through big walls. And I think if you're a Hearts player, you go, the manager's up for this.
Okay.
He's up for this.
Yeah,
I'm on board here.
I think Jose Mourinho was a bit like that, as a manager. You don't think the players looked at him and probably thought,
Martin Neil wasn't a big rabbit at the end of the game last week.
Yeah. I mean, it's not quite. Remember Mourinho poking his finger in the eye of the coach. I mean, that was taking things a bit far.
Yeah.
But even before that, in his sort of Chelsea days and his Porto days, he liked all that. It got them going. I think actually Hearts might need something like that. Jalen McInnes needs every advantage he can get.
I agree, because I mean, you look at Hearts with a lot of injuries in recent weeks, and to keep the show on the road. I mean, listen, they go and lose to Rangers, and I think a lot of people thought, well, that's it. They've done a good run. They're going to start to tail off.
Yeah.
So bounce back with 2 big wins.
Yeah.
I mean, this Hearts team has been ferocious all season. The work ethic, the desire, and I think that comes from the manager as well. If you see your manager giving it big licks as well, you think, you know what, I'm rolling up my sleeves and getting this done. So no, listen, bring it on. But Hearts got a free weekend. Obviously, didn't get go to Dubai. Obviously, that was knocked in the head due to events elsewhere. But so they have a weekend off, whereas the Scottish Cup takes the stage. How do you see these cup ties going?
So big weekend. I actually think that we could have a couple upsets. We normally talk on a bit. When I saw this question, I thought, oh no, because I was thinking back to us having Novak Djokovic. We actually retired him when we were on air, when he was a set down in the Australian Open semi-final, and he came back to beat Yannick Sinner, and it went out. So our prediction for the first time.
Go for it again.
Falkirk done United. It won't last long because that game takes place a few hours after this goes out. So we're going to end up looking stupid again.
Go for it. Come on.
I'm going to go for a win for Falkirk in that one, okay?
Right.
I'm going to go for an upset on Saturday night. I think Dunfermline to beat Aberdeen. Aberdeen loan confidence, packed East End Park. Under the lights. I'll go for the Vale. And I actually think as well, Thistle, I see a lot of St Mirren fans saying very low ticket sales for the home end. Partick Thistle fans can't get enough tickets. I think Thistle as well. So I think we could have a couple of championship teams in the last 4, along with Falkirk, and then that leaves us with the big one. I'm going to go for 1-0 Rangers.
Right, I like it. I'm going to go the other way. I think Falkirk have been terrific. I think Dundee United have been pretty poor, but I think in a one-off cup tie, I think Dundee United might just sneak it. Yeah, I think that's. And by the way, you're talking about shocks. That would be the shock. I think United winning at Falkirk. Nobody expects that.
No.
So I'm going to go with that one with my neck on the line. By the time you watch this, I will be getting eggs all over my face.
The great thing is, one of us has to be
exactly. So
we should both go for the same team.
I agree with you. Dunfermline and Aberdeen is a cracker. That's a cracking tie. I think you're right. I'm going to go. I think Dunfermline are going to do it as well. I think there's a real buzz around the tie. Neil Lennon there, the charge. Aberdeen slipped to me a bit of a kind of sorry lot. I'm going to say St Mirren are going to squeak through. I think that they're a good cup team, as we saw in the League Cup. I've got a funny feeling that St Mirren could get to another final this year. I just don't know. I think it gets 2 finals, win a cup, and get relegated. No, I think they'll be all right. But I think St Mirren will edge that one. And in the big one, I think it's going to be a long afternoon, which I don't like jinxing myself. I think it's a long afternoon, and I think Celtic will edge it 2-1 after extra time. That's what I'm going to go with. And I think it'll be very similar kind of pattern to the last one. I think Rangers will come out all guns blazing. Celtic will hang on as long as they can, and then find a way that they've done in recent weeks just to kind of get themselves back into it. And then Rangers might tie late on in the next time. A wee bit like the League Cup tie, remember? League Cup semi-final at Hampden.
Oh yeah.
And a bit like that, I think so. But it could be another silly game, couldn't it? Because it's listen, let's be brutally honest. It's not 2 vintage Old Firm teams right now. They're both quite flaky, both got their weaknesses, so therefore anything could happen. And I think I would put against a red card somewhere along the line as well, because usually these double headers, the second one usually is an extra level, of kind of
That's the way that one ended.
feistiness. So let's go with that. Right. Further afield, I mentioned Aberdeen. Played particularly a bit better against Celtic, but unlucky enough not to get a result. In the stand was Sandro Schwartz. They've gone from Horniland is the main man they wanted, but he's obviously kind of personal reasons is not being able to do it now, and they're still maybe the one in the frame for the summer. But Schwartz,
That was a name just kind of out of the blue, wasn't it?
yeah. What do you make of it? What do you make of it? Has he got the chops?
Yeah, do you know what? When you look at the CV and just the sort of level he's operated at, it's probably a bit higher caliber than you would have normally associated with a target for Aberdeen. Played under kind of Jurgen Klopp, didn't he, at Mainz? So he's, it seems that he's based, much of his style is sort of based on that. So, I mean, that certainly wouldn't be a bad thing. Although we heard the same about Daniel Stendel, didn't we? Before he came to Hearts, it was all about the gegenpressing.
The gegenpress.
And look how that turned out. But I think definitely on paper, I think it looks like it could be shrewd, decent at Mainz. Did well enough at Moscow Dynamo. Looking last night, had them to the highest finish in 14 years.
Yeah.
Hertha Berlin seems to be the black mark on his CV.
Yeah.
But I think if he dig a bit deeper, it looks if there was sort of mitigating factors, all field issues. New York Red Bulls, a mixed bag. Good first season. Reached the playoffs, but a bit of disaster in the second. That saw him sacked. But I still think this could be a decent appointment.
There's no concerns about the fact he's coming from the MLS, given some of the recent MLS appointments. We look at, I mean, the ill-fated Wilfred Nonsi at Celtic and West Brom. Their MLS chap lasted 9 games?
Yeah.
It's not been a. I mean, Aberdeen himself went to the MLS with Stephen Glass, didn't he?
But I mean, Schwartz has been around, but elsewhere he's worked in Germany. A couple of stints in Germany, and going to Russia. It's not as if he's only knows the MLS.
Yeah, I get that. Do you not think Aberdeen are overthinking it? I mean, you have there is.
You think?
Well, I mean,
we often speak about Stephen Robinson, but I mean, look.
I think John McGlynn. I think John McGlynn at Falkirk. I mean, John McGlynn's body of work. This is the double manager of the year in Scotland. What he's done at Falkirk and the way he gets him playing. I mean, I think I'd love to see John McGlynn get a crack at that kind of job.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes these guys operate in a great environment and it works. Get back to the Bodo Glenn chap and all that stuff. He's one little fiefdom. Yeah. I just think John McGlynn. I mean, he's a good age now as well. But I just think I would like to see him getting a bit of money and see what he can do. I mean, I think the way he plays the game is great. I think I'd love to see him get a chance.
No, I did mention him on here before when we spoke about candidates, but I mean, obviously we're just specifically talking about Schwartz here. But if you were asking me to broaden her eyes, to pick another candidate outside of him, then John McGlynn, as I say, I mentioned earlier, I would not be against that at all.
Yeah, sometimes they want a kind of fancy name and a kind of sexy foreigner and all that stuff, but sometimes the answer's right below their nose. Listen, speaking of our big tips and all that stuff and predictions, next week, Cheltenham Festival kicks off, Gav. I know you like your horses.
I love it. God, this team last year was going to Benidorm, Michael, for it.
Aye, that's right. I remember. I don't know how you got away with that one.
Well, I didn't.
You're not buying it. Aye, I don't know how you managed to swing that one. I'm going to Benidorm to watch the racing. But listen, you're the man for the big tips. Listen, this show's been good. This show's been good for tips.
You've been the man.
This show has been digging out a few winners through
Mick Gannon.
Mick Gannon.
That was when you got that was the Scottish national, wasn't it?
That's right.
Oh, because you used to get the name wrong in your lanyard.
Nick Cannon. I was known as Nick Cannon down in England for a couple of years when I was doing my covering the EFL. But I'll give you a tips for the Cheltenham Festival. I'll give you a biggest tip for the Cheltenham Festival.
Craig Swan's the man you really want to be here. Where's Craig Swan when you need him?
Swanning around, that's what he's doing.
He's a man, he's swanning around, yeah. Well, as always, I think what we want is we want a bit of value. I mean, there's plenty of odds-on shots there and good things, but I think if, we want a low-stake, high return. So I'm going to go for the third race on Tuesday, Michael, the Fred Winter Juvenile Handicap. I'm going for a horse called Munsif. Best price I've seen is 10-1.
Right, I like
So
it.
not too shabby. But also, when I was scanning through, because you always like a wee novelty bet, so a couple of horses jumped out at me for Celtic Rangers fans, because it is Old Firm weekend.
Right,
So we've got the Mighty Celt in the same race as mine, actually, a third on Tuesday, available at 20-1.
right,
Was one for Celtic fans. And for rival punters, we've got the Blue Room,
right.
although bizarrely it's wearing green and white hoops.
Oh.
And maybe that combination's what is 100-1. That
Yeah.
goes in the Albert Bartlett Novices Hurdle, the fourth race on Friday.
Right, I like it.
So Muncie for me, and there's a couple for Old Firm.
I like it. Well,
And you?
I'm going to go in the. I like to get a few quid in the bank on the Tuesday. I know that the bookies like to give folk a few quid on the Tuesday, don't they, to get them before they give it all back again and then more. So I'm going to go in the Champion Hurdle. Obviously, there's a race that Lossiemouth is in, and I think that's heading up towards the favourite again. Obviously, it's a famous horse, that one. I think it might get beaten by Biter Days Ahead, 5-1. It beat Lossiemouth at Dublin at the turn of the year, I think. Just a wee 5-1 shot. I mean, maybe just sneak in. I know that's a race. Was it the Golden Ace won it last year at 25-1 or something? That's back in the. It's back in the running again this year. So that's the Brighter Days Ahead, and again also because of the time of year. This week the golf club's come back out this week. Gav out of the shed. It's got the rust off them. The sun was out in a couple of days, so Brighter Days are ahead, and that's a omen for me for that first day. Get a few quid in your pocket to give it all back for the rest of the week. There we are. Keep an eye on that one. That's Champion Hurdle.
And then just to finish off, Michael, a huge game in the Six Nations this week. Scotland still hopes of winning the Six Nations, but they've got the mighty France coming to Murrayfield. Will Scotland topple France to keep alive their hopes?
Well, you know what? They've done that kind of thing, and they've got our hopes up again, haven't they? A wee bit. I mean, after the kind of disappointment against Italy in the rain in Rome, they bounced back really well. I mean, the England game is pretty thrilling. The Wales game, I mean, it got a bit tense, but I thought they were terrific. I mean, and first time they won back to back for God knows how long, and first time winning after beating England for years and years and years. So they've got themselves in position. Unfortunately, now we're now facing probably the two strongest teams not probably the two strongest teams in the competition. The good thing is it's France at home. I know I was slagging off the atmosphere the other week with the fella in Scotland with the wee grannies. But this should be pretty lively. France are looking pretty strong later.
They're formidable.
Yeah.
But what did you make? Did you see the French manager complain about the size of the away dressing room? No, you've seen it's the smallest in the world.
Right.
That was an interesting wee. And he even had the cheek to see if they could use the room normally reserved for the media.
Right.
Next to them as well, because what do they want? I mean, we can't have that getting tough.
Listen,
You could how many times have you been sitting in the car? You get toughed out.
Oh yeah, we always but out in the rear. But
did you not play a press game at Murrayfield?
we don't talk about it though. We don't talk about it.
Oh, do we not?
No,
I was going to ask about the away dressing room, but was it that smart?
I was actually quite. I wouldn't say it was. I mean, I've been grown up playing in places that far wasn't that. But yeah, it was a little bit. It was a wee bit pokey. But
Did you feel it? No.
I can get through the door. Listen, we don't talk that game because
Tell us what happened.
Well,
just remind me of the game.
it was the Scottish press against the SRU. At the time when the SRU backgrounds, Dominic Mackay played and these kind of guys.
That's because they were trying to.
They were trying to get Murrayfield in there because there was a wee bit of debate about Hampden moving out of Hampden. So they were trying to speak talking to the Scottish press. So they gave us a game.
And what happened? I know the whistle's blown, but that's not saving you.
Well, okay. In 15 years of playing with the Scottish press football writers team, an unblemished record in goal.
Yeah.
That was a pretty bad day. But it's never good when your goalkeeper scores 2 own goals.
Did you have a Casper?
Oh, I made Casper look like Lev Yashin. I managed to punch the ball in my own net. No, actually, one of them I tried to come out and punch the ball, missed it, hit me in the head, and bounced in the back of the net. And then another one, the ball came over, my centre half done me in, took a swing at it and missed it. It bounced up, and I pushed my hand up, and I blocked it. And then I fell back to try and catch it, and I just punched it in the back of the net. And the famous shout was Barry Ferguson was our ringer that day. And Barry Ferguson turned around and he said, "For F's sake, Mick, someone told me you were a goalie." So I never lived it down, and it's, to this day, because I've got brought up this horrendous day at Murrayfield. Every time I hear the word Murrayfield, I get a shudder up my spine. So I hope the Scotland boys do a heck of a lot better than I did that day.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah. So, but thanks for exposing that one again. It's I'm back into therapy after.
But genuinely, then on the away dressing, so was it away dressing you were in?
Right.
Yeah, and is it? Apparently, there's a big pillar. Is that right in the middle? I don't know. I know there's been other complaints before. So it's France aren't the first.
I think what happened to me after I've been there, kind of, I blocked out the pre-match stuff because I remember the big screens and they're showing the game on the big screens while we were playing.
All right.
And I was lying face down in the turf and I could see myself in the camera flying. Oh, it was horrendous. But anyway, listen, enough taking the mick out my diabolical goalkeeping, my ill-fated goalkeeping career.
I'm so glad I remembered that.
I'm glad you did as well, yeah. But listen, that's us for another weekend. We'll leave it at that. I'm going to go and sit in a dark room and cry myself again. I've brought back painful memories. But listen, thanks for watching as always. You can hit those like and subscribe buttons. Also leave your comments as always. Always welcome. You can catch us on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, our podcast, all your usual social media and podcast outlets. We'll be back again next week to pick up the bones of another dramatic week. Thanks again to our sponsors, NordVPN, before Gav digs me out for no mention again. And we'll catch you again next week. Thanks a lot.